Well, welcome to the webinar tonight. My name is Mike Wood. I'm going to be your presenter, and we are talking tonight about working on eBay with formatting and templates to just kind of make things look a little prettier, shall we say. So I'm going to go through some details here and show what I do and help you hopefully understand how to work with this. So this was a search I was doing earlier tonight. For those of you who live, since this is a creative eBay session, for those who live in an area where you might have trees that drop nuts and stuff, nuts, acorns, different things. This is pecans from North Carolina. I've seen them from Texas as well. Hey, those things sell on eBay. You might be able to gather a few things up off the ground to get yourself started and I don't know how many of those can be picked up on the ground, but that's an option, something you might sell on eBay. In fact, I wonder here, I have an almond tree in my mother-in-law's front yard, and so that might be one that I can work with if my internet wants to work. There we are. So, what I would, I wouldn't try toasting or shelling these or anything like that. Uh, when I'm looking at, if I were going to sell this, it would be unshelled or in the shell. Unshelled, 1 kilogram organic nuts buy now for 27. Raw almonds, no shell, 10 pounds, $60. So, there's some possibilities there with some of this. They are selling. So, all right. So let's go look at how to do some formatting and prettying things up on eBay. Hopefully, you all know where to find the questions section, the questions box on your control panel there. If you have any questions related to what we're talking about here today, you can send me a question in there. If you have any comments that you want to add to the discussion, you can send them in there. Okay. So, so we've got a bunch of templates in here that I can look at. We'll pull this one up and check it out. All right, so here we are in our eBay template. Now, one of the things I do that's kind of formatting that I'll talk about here is when I create my titles, I usually capitalize the first letter of each word. And that kind of grabs people's attention. Sometimes all caps will grab attention, so that's an option as well, but don't make it all lowercase because lowercase doesn't stand out. So either all caps or capitalize each word at least so that things are standing out. Okay. And then as we scroll down here, we'll enter that there for UPC. Most of my stuff, I just do this NA on these required things because I don't have the brand MPN or any of that kind of stuff here. So I just, and then I'll remove anything that I don't want to worry about too. So, okay, I recall what this is. This is for making lures. So I have this lot of latex rubber that I'm going to present here for the idea of making fish lures out of it, because that's something I've seen people do. So, all right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I have saved in my Google Drive, and I'll show you that so you can follow along with me. And you could do this in an email if you just wanted to save it in an email. But if you have a Gmail account, then you'll have access to Google Drive. If you don't have a Gmail account, set one up, because Google Drive is a fantastic option. Basically, it's a free online uh, software suite to allow you uh, to create documents, spreadsheets, forms, and all kinds of things like that. Uh, that that are available online anywhere. And so that's one of the beauties of this is I can create this document anywhere, and then I can access it here at work, at home, on my phone, anywhere I want to. So once you've got a Gmail account, you come up to the top here and you click on the little boxes there for the Google Apps, and this will open up, and you can come down here and click Drive. You've got all these other tools with Google as well. So you click on Drive, and that will open your Google Drive. And there we will see folders that I've created and documents down here, and then I can create a new document. So you would just go create new Google Docs and then create your template. Well, the beauty of this is it's simpler than Microsoft Word. If you do this in Microsoft Word or a Microsoft type product, it has all kinds of messy code in the back end. So if I were to highlight all of this and copy it and paste it over on eBay, if I do that from Microsoft Word, then when I paste it in here, the code looks really messy. If we were to go to the HTML code here, this is what the code looks like. Okay, and this code is actually quite a bit simpler than a Microsoft code. And Microsoft code will have a whole lot more in there than what is here, and it causes havoc, causes trouble with some web browsers, and won't display things properly. Okay, so this isn't something you have to learn or understand. You don't need to know what all this means. If you look closely, you can see where all of my different parts are. The title, for example, is right there. And then there's a little bit of space and some code, and then my next bit of text is right here from surplus lot. But if we go back to standard, we just see it this way. Okay, so my title is a 14 font size. So if you highlight that, you can see it right up here for font size. It shows 14. The rest of my text is at 10. My section headings are bolded, so I've done that here within the Google Doc system. I can just click bold on that and bold it. I have this section here, 100% satisfaction guaranteed, centered, bolded, and red in color, and that again is a 14 size font, so a little bit bigger. And then I have this in bold here. If you do have a problem with your item, contact me and I will do whatever is needed to make you happy. Just letting people know this is my satisfaction guarantee. I'll do whatever I need to make sure you're happy. Work with me, contact me, preferably directly. I've had too many times where people open a case in eBay and eBay doesn't tell me about it. So it's better if they contact me directly rather than going through eBay, and so I put that note in there. I've got a note about my best offers. If it's a best offer, hey, if you make a best offer, be prepared to pay for the item. If best offers are accepted, they are as binding as any purchase. You will be expected to pay immediately after the offer is accepted. Now, eBay doesn't allow me to require immediate payment on offers, but I put that in here anyway. It bugs me to no end when somebody comes in and makes an offer, I accept the offer, and then I don't hear from them. They don't make payment, and days go by. They don't tell me that they're waiting. They don't tell me why they're waiting. I hate that. If you're going to commit to buy something, either pay for it or tell me why you're going to wait. And if you have to wait, why not just come in later and make the offer? So I get a little antsy with some of that. So I put this note in here, hey, make the offer. And then I put this in there, you're kind of in your face. If you are not serious about purchasing the item, do not make an offer on it. Because I got tired of people making offers and then not paying for it. An offer is binding. It's a contract. You're stating that you're going to pay for the item. So So I put that in there. You may not want to be that that abrupt with your template. You might want to be a little nicer, word a little different. But this is what I do in mine. And then I have a shipping section that again the shipping is bolded. Payment section with the bolded header of payment. A feedback section that talks about feedback and how important it is, and a returns section. In my returns, I state, hey, we do our best to make sure everything works out. You get all the details you need on this, and that it works out properly. Often our items are sold as is, and then I just basically state in here my return policy is this. If in fact it comes down here, for example, if you purchased a blue widget and we incorrectly shipped you the red thingamajig, contact us for a return authorization, and we may just send the red one and tell you to toss the blue one. But this kind of thing doesn't happen very often. So basically my return policy is, yeah, sure, I'll accept returns. If I make a mistake, I'll fix it. Otherwise, then, I don't really accept returns. So that's clearly stated in all of my auctions because this template goes in my listings. I like to state, hey, there's a return policy. I like to put that in there because people like to see that. It gives them those warm fuzzies to make them feel like going ahead and purchasing. But I am not going to return something, especially not at my expense, if they get it and just decide, no, I don't want it after all. If it is what I shipped, or if it is what I stated it was, and it shipped and arrived properly, tough. If you want to return it, okay, sometimes I will go ahead and say, yeah, I'll accept it back, but you're going to have to pay for the return shipping. And if the item I sold them was a $10 item with free shipping, and I also state I'm not going to refund the shipping cost that I had to send it out. I'm not into this to lose money. So that's my return policy, and that's all explained in here. If they return it, they're responsible for return shipping. Again, unless I make a mistake. If I make a mistake, it's my fault. I'll pay for it. I'll correct it. I'll take care of it. But if it's their mistake or they change their mind, then they're going to pay for return shipping, and the refund is not going to include my cost that it cost me to ship the item in the first place. Okay. And then a contact us just stating, hey, we're available Monday through Friday. We don't work on Saturday or Sunday. We'll answer emails through eBay promptly during the week. Realistically, I will answer questions if people send them to me on Saturday, usually not on Sunday. Sunday's my Sabbath, and I'm in church or I'm relaxing, and I'm not going to pay attention to eBay on Sunday. But I usually on Saturdays, I have my phone on me. It has the app. I get the notifications, and I'll respond. I like to respond timely, but I like to put that in here too, so that they realize I'm not a 24/7 service here. Have a little a little respect for me and my business and my personal life. But that's my template. Now you can create whatever terms you want. You can look at other sellers and see what they have, and use use something similar to what they do. Don't just copy it blatantly from them. Take some ideas and write it in your own words and put it, make it your own. But there's a lot of sellers out there that will use this kind of thing to make their listings look good. Realistically, it's very quick for me to just come over here, highlight all. That's a Control A on a Windows computer or Command A on a Mac computer. And then Control C for copy, or Command C will copy it, and then I can come over in here and Control V like Victor will paste it. You can find any of those shortcut keys for the keyboard if you just do a Google search for shortcut keys. And if you have a Mac, do shortcut keys on Mac. If you have a Windows computer, do shortcut keys for Windows. And you'll find all kinds of ways to speed things up for you. So then I've got my template in here. So now what I do, I've copied and pasted that in a second, right? It didn't take me long at all. I come up here and triple click in the title, and that highlights the whole title. And then do my Control C to copy it. Scroll down to my description details area. Double click on that one word title that's already formatted, centered, bolded, and Control V or Command V and paste. And there we are. I've got my same title from up above right down here that makes my listing look really good. Okay. And I'm not sure on this. I want to look at this because I'm probably going to go ahead and put this in. So 1/16 inch wall is probably correct. 5/16 inner diameter. I think mine is probably 1/4 inner diameter. And I think I was, what was it, 1/2 inch maybe? It might be 7/16 OD, so we'll leave that there. No, I don't think it is. I think we're probably looking at 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh yeah, 7/16. Okay. So we'll leave that there. So I can't remember if I it's been a while since I started this, but I think that's probably correct. All right, so we'll leave that there, and then we've got so this states it's for surplus lot. I might state here great tubing for creating fishing lures. Color is hot pink. All right. And I can move that down there. So there's my description information, and then all the other details here. And this is new. Item is new in retail packaging. And so then I can just update any of my details, my description information as I want to. And usually it's just this, this little bit right here. I'm changing a few things like I just did there, and then that's all I'm doing. And I'm done. So I've got that all saved, so I can copy and paste it. I triple click up here, and I copy and paste that down here. And then I upload my my image there. And I'm not sure where I might have this image, so I'm going to go and look for it and download it from one of my other listings. So we'll just do a search here. There it is right there. And click on that to zoom. Right click, save image. I like to use keywords when I am saving things. So I'll generally put keywords in there, so that way if somebody searches for pink latex fishing lure, they might find my image. So it gives me another way to be found. All right, so we've saved that. Now we can go in here and upload an image, and we'll go ahead and finish this listing so you can see what it looks like when it has finished. If you have any questions, put them in. And this is one of the main things I was going to be going over about all I'm going to be doing here for you today. So we're going to have kind of a short webinar unless there are questions. So let's scroll down to that. There we are. Now you notice this has a little bit of color, a little bit of pink in the white there. If I click on this little sun icon, I can increase the brightness a little bit, increase the contrast a little bit, and I should be able to eliminate that all together. Yeah, so now we've got a nice clean white background. You can't even tell, that looks like it's just floating in the air there. So we'll finish that. And set the price in there. I ought to put the length of it. Oh gosh, I think it's 4 feet or 4 or 5 feet long, so they know how big it is. We'll try $7, and I'll accept best offers, and I have 100 of these. And I'm going to set this to automatically accept and automatically reject offers that aren't at least $6, $6.10 since it's there. Okay. So that way, if they make an offer of $6, it'll automatically reject it. If they make an offer of $6.10 or $6.11 or anything above that, it'll automatically accept it, and they've won the bid. Okay. I am using the fixed price option here, so I don't use the auction style. I do the fixed price. Economy shipping, free, and this is actually going to be first class, so I can go ahead and call it first class. Let's see if I can find USPS first class right there. Use global shipping program. This is the only way I ship globally, and this is going to be just no alternative shipping. It's just the same, and eBay will charge them a little extra to send it to their location. That looks good, and the weight is probably, I don't know, maybe 8 ounces. And then you can choose, so here's my returns. So this is sometimes, I was talking to somebody earlier today, I can't remember who it was or if you're on here, but about the return policy. So down here, sometimes it saves it and defaults to returns accepted, other times it doesn't. I'm going to just put a note in here, see item listing for complete return policy details. All right, do you want to charge a restocking fee? No. Return shipping, buyer, money back, 14 days. If you want to charge sales tax for your state, you would choose that in here to charge sales tax and then put the percentage in there. All right, so we continue. And list your item, and you can see here it tells you your fees. So it's telling me this is free for an insertion fee, no insertion fees there. It even gives me a running total on my bill so far this month. List your item. I just made a payment, that's why that's so low on there. So all right, there we are. It's listed. So let's go in now and click on this link to see our item. And here we can see the listing. So this is what it looks like to me. It's got all these details up above. For everybody else, it won't have this blue bar or this information. It'll just have the category and then start with the title and the image. And here's my seller information over here. 100 available, quantity they can choose. They can buy it now. They can add to cart and add other things, or they can make an offer, or they can add it to their wish list. Or they can add it to a collection if they wanted to do some kind of organizing there. I've never used that. It's something that eBay has started to offer. That's for people who are buyers generally and looking at things. So there's my title that gets me found. If we scroll down here, we can see my description information. And these are all the item specifics that are in there. Here's my title again, looking very nice and professional. My description information, and then all of my other details here going on down the page, including my satisfaction guaranteed, formatted in the middle there, big and bold. Okay. Notice there are sponsored links at the bottom of eBay's pages. You'll see that a lot of times with a template like this. People are very unlikely to get that far down. They're going to get down here and say, oh, there's everything. I've seen it all. And they won't most of the time scroll down to see anything else below that because it looks like the bottom of the page, right? So they're unlikely to see all of that stuff. So that's one thing that can help you with not having the competition of eBay's other listings is to have a nice long template that you put in so that every one of your listings has this in there. Okay. So, all right, questions. So send them over to me. I have a question here from Dennis. Can you go over the photos again? And so we can go back and take a look at that. I assume you're talking about uploading the photos or the work I did on the photos, Dennis. Help clarify this exactly. What do you mean? Go over the photo again. Are you talking about when I add the photo there? Okay, so it says yes, uploading and sizing and all that. All right, so let's go look at it. Why don't we do this? I'll go download another one, so we'll have. Oh, I just sold something. We'll download this one and save it, so we have another one to do, and call this -2. Come back over here and all right, so now I'm doing a similar item, selling similar. I've got to change my title. So this, actually I need to change, so lot of rubber latex tubing for lure making. I actually should have changed that a little bit. All right, so we go in here. So adding the photo, let's leave this. So I've already got one photo in here. And so I don't have the plus sign to click down here to add a photo, but I have this little add edit photos. Now that shows up in Chrome. So if you are using Google Chrome as your browser, then you'll have this add/edit photos option. If you're using Safari, you won't have that option. So use Chrome, okay? Because Chrome's going to be one of the best browsers to use with eBay and allows more, okay? All right, and then we have another question there. Dorothy, I'll get to that in just a moment here about multiple items. So we're going to go in here and upload another photo and go through that. So we click, so let's go through this slowly. So I clicked on the link there to add edit photos. Brings me this little pop-up window here. And so now I have a plus sign to add photos, or I can manipulate the photo that's already there. So we click on add photo with that plus sign. We scroll down to where my photo is. And this one, I'm going to move this with the black background over to the main photo. So I can just click on it in this editor screen. I can click here and drag it over and then let go, and it'll replace that one. So it's taking its place, okay? Now, I might want to clean that up a little bit. I want to make it look a little clearer. I like the black background, and I want to see if that gets more attention than the white background. So I'm going to be doing kind of some A/B testing with these. So what I'm going to do is, once again, I can come down, and in this editor, I've got the crop option where I can crop my images. We'll show you that. So if I click on it, it gives me this little box, and it grays out everything behind it. And then I can click on this and drag it out and say, I want this right there to be my item description. I want to chop it there. So we crop it, click apply, and it shrinks it and makes it that size that I just cropped it to. Now you can rotate it if you want to, as many times as you want to get whatever direction you want, and then again click apply. I can click on this little sun icon to manually adjust brightness and contrast. That's what that little yellow pop-up says, manually adjust brightness and contrast. So when I click on that, it gives me this little slider option, and with some browsers, it'll show a different option where it might be a plus or minus scale, but in Chrome here, it's giving me this slider option. And so I don't want to adjust the brightness, but I think I want to adjust the contrast a little bit. In fact, I might even take the brightness down, make it a little darker. Probably not that much. And so you can adjust that contrast however you want it. So we're going to adjust that just a little bit there, kind of make that stand out. Bring it a little darker. And you can just play with that until you have something that you like the look of, okay? And then click apply. And that will update everything there for me. And it looks a little sharper, you know, it's something that might grab attention. And then we click finish, and that finishes uploading and brings it back to this page. Now right here, if I wanted to, I could click these little arrows to move this one to the left and trade places there, so I could move things around that way too. If you have 12 images here, that's kind of tedious. That's why I like to do the add edit photos option here, because then I can just click it and drag it wherever I want to. Okay. So that works a little easier, a little better there. All right, done with that. And so this one is slightly different. I changed the title. Freshwater, you know what, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it could be used for any of these um, ideas here. So we'll just we'll put a few different options in there. All right, quantity, we'll say 2 on this. No hook, no model, no country of origin. And actually, I'm going to go up here, lot of 2. Okay, and then we can come down here, click on that and replace it. And there we are, a totally unique or semi-unique listing. We'll put the price at $12 for 2 of them. We'll say I have 50 of these. I think I actually have 140 total of these. So the weight might be a little bit more if there's 2 of them, so we'll increase that. And notice here my return policy has stayed now since I had put it in there last time. And then I continue. All right, now before I continue, actually, let's go back. Leave this page. Let's go back here. And we'll answer Dorothy's question for you, Dorothy. So Dorothy says, if you want to sell more than one item, does eBay automatically charge for multiple items? So you saw me putting in here a quantity. Now, I would be careful, guys. If you're new to eBay and you have limits, don't put high quantities in. I would recommend you don't put more than 2. And that only when you've already sold the item and you're relisting. Okay, because every quantity you put in here counts against your totals that you're allowed to sell for both dollar and item numbers. So be careful of that because you want to be able to get as many unique listings up there as you can. Do they charge you? If I were getting a listing fee for this, if I were getting charged 30 cents for this listing, no, they would only charge me for the one listing, even though I have a quantity of 100. Okay. So final value fees are charged per item that's sold. So there, yes, if somebody buys 1, I'm going to get charged a final value fee. If somebody else comes in the next day and buys 2, I'm going to get charged a final value fee. But they're not going to charge me more than for one listing on the front end. So hopefully that answers your question there. We'll go ahead and there was something else I wanted to adjust here. Actually, we'll go back. So one of the things I wanted to do as a test is do this one as I got to remove all these that I don't want in there. All right, so I want to do this as an auction and see what happens, see if I can sell them. So we're going to do 2, a lot of 2, starting price $6. It's not going to cost me more than about 3 to ship it. So continue. So this way I can kind of test and see. I didn't look at what my duration was. Oh, good. 7 days. That's what I want. So there we go. All right. So there we are. Now, I also noticed another thing I wanted to change on my other listing, and actually I can go just back to my eBay to get to that. But if I go in here to my active items, so there's the other item I sold. It's just a $6 tool. So this one right here needs to change. It's not a mixed lot, so I'm going to revise my item with this link at the top. If anybody has other questions, send me a question there. Otherwise, we're about done. I'm going to change this to get rid of the mixed lot of. So it's just 1 rubber latex tubing for lure making. And I believe that was 1/4 inch. I have to double check that at home. Okay, and jump to the bottom by pressing End on my keyboard. Take me to the bottom of the page. Home will take me to the top of the page usually. And there we are. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, and I hope that you use that. Templates are very helpful. It's something that I really like to use and use it a lot because it is something that I find beneficial. So thank you all for joining, and I hope to see you here next week. Have a great week.